Well, welcome everyone to today's webinar series. This is part of what we hope will be a quarterly presentation by the Entertainment Food and Beverage Association and NAC. And we would offer to you, if you have any topics for future discussions, please forward those ideas to me. And we have an education committee that will be lining these things up. And again, we'd like to do it quarterly at least, and we would do it more often if we have the need or if we have the amount of topics we'd like. I would also like to announce that in 2025, we'll be offering some sponsorships for these too. So any of you supplier members out there who maybe want to support these offerings, please let me know. We'll be getting out with information about that. But I did want to let you know in advance that is in the plans for 2025. Before we get started, I've got a couple items that I'd like to share with you. Be on the lookout for NAC and entertainment, food, and beverage activities at CinemaCon. We've got committee meetings on March 30th, the golf event on March 31st. There's a meeting room. I don't know if everybody knows this. There's a meeting room that as an NAC member, you can sign up for and use. It's just adjacent to the trade show floor there at CinemaCon. So take advantage of that. There'll be information coming out on that. We also have our own trade show booth, and we will be hosting a seminar on April 3rd, bright and early in the morning. The topic to be announced shortly. Also, I think for our own main attraction, information, trade show booths, sponsorships, and registrations will be available soon for the Concession and Hospitality Expo. It's scheduled for September 16th through 18th at the West and North in San Antonio, Texas. So we hope that you will all be able to join us in San Antonio in September, going a little bit later this year and cutting it down by a day based on some of your ideas and recommendations. So we hope you will join us. So mark that on your calendar right now and make plans. With regards to today's presentation, we'll leave some time at the end of the session for Q&A. We'd ask that you use the Q&A function for your questions, and we'll be monitoring that. And the panel will be happy to answer your questions at the end of today's presentation. We'll be sending out a presentation deck to everyone who's registered after the session. And the session is being recorded, so look for that playback on our website and our social media channels. Now it's my distinct pleasure to bring in the EF&B NAC Director of Education, Dan Harrell, to get things started with marketing and promotion strategies for concessions. Dan, it's all
Hey,
yours.
hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today for this exciting seminar. We're thrilled to have such a passionate and engaged group here to explore the latest in concession marketing and promotional strategies. I'm honored to introduce the industry experts who will bring a wealth of knowledge and creative insights to this session. From Deal Media, we have Bill and Leah, two innovators in media strategies who specialize in bringing dynamic, customer-focused solutions to the concession world. From Ani Creative, we're joined by Gianni, Diana, Nakisha, and Kim, who are renowned for their expertise in distinguishing visually impactful campaigns and brand storytelling that help drive results. Today's session, you're going to gain actionable insights into creating impactful menu boards that not only look great, but also help you drive sales through strategically showcasing your high margin items. We're leveraging specialty popcorn buckets and drink containers to theme blockbuster movies and sporting events to increase in engagement and build customer loyalty. And we have innovative promotion strategies, including bundling, limited time offers, seasonal campaigns that keep customers excited and coming back for more. And very importantly, we can talk about how to use data and analytics to refine your marketing efforts to maximize your return on investment. Our goal today is to leave you with fresh ideas, practical tools, that you can implement immediately and evaluate and elevate your concession experience right away and drive revenue and delight your guest. So without further ado, let's dive in. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed panelist, and let's get started.
Hey everybody, as Dan mentioned, Leah and I are with Deal Media. Deal is a full-service digital signage company, and we specialize in signage for food service environments. So think concession boards, but we also do things in theater like box office displays and auditorium signage, video walls, things of that nature. Started the company in 2009. We've grown to support about 30,000 screens in our network. And we are very glad to be with you today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gianni Siegel. I am the founder of Ani Creative. We are a certified women and minority-owned full-service creative agency that specializes in enhancing guest experience through long-term marketing and social media strategy, concessions and promotional products, and experiential design. I'm joined by my team today, and thank you to Dan and Chris for hosting us today.
All right, I am going to kick this off with a discussion on effective menu board layout and design. I'm sure you've all heard about eye tracking studies, and you can see from the heat map image on the left of the screen there that that's an example of a study that was done that showed where people's eyes travel to most when they look at your menu. That particular example is a single screen. And it shows a lot of eyes going to the upper left-hand corner, and that is true with a single screen menu board or a printed menu that you may hold in a restaurant. When you expand to multiple screens, people act a little bit differently. They will immediately go to the center of the menu first, and then kind of level set themselves before moving to the left. And then they'll scan left to right as you would in reading a book. So you really want to look at putting your highest margin or the promotions that you want people to focus on the most at the center of your menu board. The other thing that eye tracking doesn't necessarily take into account, and Leah, if you'll run the video, is motion. So motion throws a wrench into all of that. We use motion, obviously, to attract the eye to certain promotions, to create appetite, appeal, interest in the product. But we also use it to create a comfortable rhythm, a scanning rhythm, to allow people to start on the left and move their way comfortably over to the right, hopefully with the animation or the motion on the far right being a little bit longer in duration. And the reason is you do want people to be able to get a good idea of the offerings, and you want them to look at everything before making a final decision. Next slide, please, Leah. All right, so I don't know about you, but ordering at a menu board or at a drive-through is stressful to me. I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision and getting the items that I want, which might include add-on items. And I don't want to take too long because I don't want to inconvenience the people behind me. So what tends to happen when people come to a concession with people behind them, as their heart rate starts to go up, they want to make a quick decision. You want them to make a decision that is good for your revenue, obviously, and your check average. And so really what we're trying to do is to create a simple way for them to navigate. Whether, if you look at the Galaxy menu on the top there, whether it's just a simple display that shows the items and it's an easy to understand selection, or, in the case of the Pizza Hut menu down below, unfortunately, we have to show a lot of text for Pizza Hut. They require that. But what we do in that particular case is we'll call out the most important and the highest margin sales with the red boxes that you see. So your eyes will go to those first. and hopefully allow you to make a selection that is something that you are happy with fairly quickly, because we don't want to negatively impact speed of service, and also make it a good high margin sale for the venue. So if the three things that I would say are: keep it simple, try not to list all the ingredients of the menu items if you have to, but if you do, like in the Pizza Hut menu, give your customers something to focus on. Keep it scannable, meaning give them a comfortable rhythm so that their eyes can move from the left to the right across the board and hopefully scan everything before making a decision. And be delightful. Use motion to attract attention. Maybe give them an idea of something that they haven't seen before. And I think you'll see more of that as we go further into the presentation from both companies that are presenting a lot of really great imagery, photography, and animation that will compel people to behave the way you want them to behave, which is to buy. So I think we move on. I'll turn it over to you, Leah.
Thanks. So we'll take a look at some more content and layout. So, using your current offerings and putting things together or making them more exciting. So, as we can see with Showcase, we're doing a full interruptive menu across all screens, pointing to, what you could do as one thing can easily become a combo. We also have the ability to make these, more exciting from your merchandise perspective, as well as, creating, if it's a film specific promotion, we can take the motion from the film itself and put it in here, as we saw with Mufasa in the very beginning. And then some promotion strategies specifically with your menu boards. So as we're approaching the holidays, some of our theme park clients have taken their current offerings, once again, not having to create something brand new, but being able to take beverages that already exist, add a sprinkle of holiday spirit, and it becomes something that is much more promotable. People, are waiting for the pumpkin spice latte to come out, even though cinnamon dolce latte basically tastes the same and it's offered year round at Starbucks. The reason why that happens is we want something that feels limited and exclusive. So we can do the same thing with your promotions here. Here's our Moana example of, what it looks like to take a film specific promotion using your existing menu board, not changing the layout of it at all, and keeping, the fun elements to it as people get excited for these films. Same thing here with these cocktails and Halloween and, making them feel, as it says, more premium. So then it comes to, the blend between the digital menu boards and your offerings there, and also social media platforms. The churros here are pictured at the very top as part of their website promotions. And then there's the social media assets, email versions. So doing one shoot where it's, taking photos, videos, and bringing everything together, and parsing it out so that you can get the most bang for your buck when you're doing those shoots, because they are specific to these films. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ani and talk through more seasonal promotions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim. So to talk about seasonal and themed promotions, there's actually a lot that cinemas, stadiums can do to stay on trend, to stay on what's happening, not just nationally on holidays, but if you have regional festivals or regional holidays or something specific to your area, those are great things for you to capitalize on, get in the festive spirit and get people in your region really excited to participate. So for merchandise, you can see in the bottom left corner, there are a lot of items here with Landmark. Landmark had their 50th anniversary this year, so they decided to do a merch store. So seasonal and themed, it's themed for them. This is their birthday. So they had a merch store year round that moviegoers could go in. There was all kinds of different, pop sockets, t-shirts, beer steins, and also there was even neons for like those real movie buffs. And then also you can see right next to it, we have a little ornament there with the Ani Creative logo, which your cinema can easily do as well. And then for themed F&B, limited seasonal offerings definitely get people into the cinema. Those limited time offers where people don't want to miss out, those are the types of things that are definitely going to incentivize people to come and try your spiked eggnog that's only there for December, or the candy cane dream cocktail. Again, for instance, we have our Nosferatu clamshell, and there's actually a premium cocktail that cinemas were sent the recipe. So that's a limited time around a film opening as well. So it's called the Dark and Bloody, and moviegoers can only get it now that Nosferatu comes out on December 25th on Christmas. And then for activations, definitely lean into film openings, but there's a lot you can do there. So we have our example of Beetlejuice, which we did flat card standee. We did a few other things. You can see the afterlife generator with Deanna right there with her photo of what she would look like in the afterlife through that QR code with WB. And a lot of cinemas really leaned into that and bought the sandworm that blow up. You can see there's a cinema there that has like all these balloons. And that photo op is really popular too for moviegoers that don't want to miss out, but they want to memorialize what they're doing at the cinema. Especially, everyone wants that clickable photo so they can share on social media and show other people what they're not doing. I
Hey,
think
Kim, can I jump in here?
Of course.
And these can all be very, investing in a simple balloon arch and swapping out the colors. That's something that's very inexpensive and can be done relatively quickly. So again, switching it out to theme to the different films. And one other call out I wanted to make is the beer sign with Landmark Theaters. That not only did they offer this beer sign in their merchandise shop, but then they offered $5 refills. They sold it for, I think 20 or 25 bucks. And then all year long throughout their anniversary, you could bring it in for a refill on beer or soda for $5. So, not only are they making money off of the beer sign, but then it's, creating that repeat business. And hopefully people are going to forget their beer sign and pay for a full price drink, right? But, you never know. It's a way to kind of increase revenue through merch and add that additional revenue stream, and then encourage repeat business. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Gianni. I would say one last thing with themed promotions is, especially with activations, like utilize your space. I lived in Washington, D.C. for a really long time, and the Nationals, their baseball team, actually used the stadium during winter months to have a Christmas market. So, still generating revenue in times, obviously, when the stadium's not being utilized. Or I actually live in Cleveland now, and same thing during January, February, there's a winter wonderland at the Cleveland Guardian Stadium with like this huge ice slide that like seems unsafe, but it's really fun. Next slide, Leah, please. So cross promotions and marketing. This is something that's really easy to do, especially for, local cinemas that are those pillars in their community. Those of you that are maybe in your chamber of commerce or have relationships with other businesses in your area, specifically small businesses, I think too. So leveraging your existing business relationships. So if you have a partnership or you already know someone from, maybe they're your neighbor from a different business, it could be anything from, an arcade to a flower shop. There's always opportunities to partner together. Always try to contact new potential partners too. I think growing your business and growing your network is just as important as leveraging the existing relationships. And then once you've found partners that align with your goals and your values for this program, cross promote on social media. There are functions on Facebook, on Instagram, where you can like post from both accounts. So you're really, really extending your reach and gaining a lot more impressions, because you're getting their audience as well as your audience getting views on these posts. And then also don't be afraid to really leverage like what resonates with your demographic. So if radio is really big in your area, do radio ads. If your newspaper is really, really popular in the local paper, you can put ads in there as well. And then finally, bounce back coupons. So bounce back coupons are coupons where they can be redeemed on a specific day or later in the year. So one cinema that we know, they've created gift cards that can only be redeemed between January and February, which in the cinema world typically are slower months. So leaning into those film themes it's a very easy way to partner with local businesses. So for Sonic 3, you can partner with a local arcade or family entertainment center. And if someone brings in that receipt in January or February, they can redeem a discounted movie ticket, a small popcorn, something like that. You know, for pets too, you can partner with your local shelter and try to, you know, encourage moviegoers to adopt local pets that need homes. And then for Moana 2, you can always partner with a local aquarium. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Next slide.
Hi, everyone. I will be covering how to leverage social and digital campaign strategies as well as influencer marketing tactics. So social media, especially within the last few years, has very much transformed how audiences discover and engage with, and also build sentiment on businesses, including your theaters and stadiums. TikTok just released a study in September on their impact on movie marketing, and they find that 1 in 3 moviegoers on TikTok say that TikTok was the source that led them to watch a new movie in theaters. So definitely leveraging these platforms can boost buzz around your offerings and significantly boost sales. We saw this in the Dune buckets, obviously, and those went viral first on TikTok and X before it made its way to SNL. So yeah, and although we can't definitively predict what goes viral, these platforms have allowed companies to get creative in their marketing, especially with video content, which is vital now because it grabs attention quickly. It's great for storytelling, and for food and beverage, it can really showcase that sensory appeal and highlight quality and experience that people crave. So I have 3 content categories that I suggest be implemented across your platforms. The first one being behind the scenes, or BTS. And this type of content builds transparency and trust, and also gives an inside scoop of the day-to-day inside your facility. And it showcases personalities and candid shots of your crew and sort of humanizes your brand, which makes it quite relatable. Some behind the scenes examples can be your crew filling up your popcorn tubs, cocktails being made, and even nowadays, your opening and closing procedures like cleaning and restocking are a big hit on Reels and TikToks because, again, it's relatable and it humanizes your brand. And then the next category are event promotions highlights. This can be done in video format as well. And as we see on the very right, the free popcorn for a year. So this type of content includes promoting time-limited offers, exclusive events, and loyalty perks to build excitement. And then the third category is interactive content. These are your polls, your question cards, and contests that you see on the bottom left, which encourages in-app participation, which therefore increases engagement and boosts your content up in the algorithm. And a pro tip for social media in general is adding keywords and hashtags and even audios and music can boost your content in the algorithm because it makes it easier for your posts to come up in search results. And keywords are certain buzzwords that are being said, such as the very demure, very mindful, which was a popular trend from earlier this year. And also, don't be afraid of memes. Memes are a great, fun way to stay on trend and makes for really great filler content. Next slide, please. So, influencer strategy. Influencers can act as trusted voices within your community, and their endorsements can introduce your theater or stadium to new audiences. Their content can help amplify your reach by showcasing your concessions and offerings to their highly engaged audience who trust their recommendations. And the first step into influencer marketing is identifying the right influencers to source for your brand or campaign. And I have a few that I'll be going over. The first being local influencers. These are creators with strong ties to your local community, such as students or lifestyle bloggers. And the benefit of these creators is that their followers are within your facility's immediate area. And so that helps drive immediate traffic to your facility. The next type of influencer are film buffs. So these are your movie enthusiasts or reviewers who are known for their insights and opinions on movies or the cinema going experience. And these guys are a big hit, especially on YouTube and now even TikTok. Their audience trusts their viewpoints, making them good for promoting not only your concessions, but your in-theater experiences and promotions. The next category of influencers are foodies. So these are influencers specializing in food and beverage and culinary content. These are oftentimes your camera eats first types of people. So they really know how to make your menus look great aesthetically. And so for you all, I would utilize foodie influencers to showcase your unique offerings, seasonal menus, and signature drinks. The next category is family focused. These are parents or kid-oriented creators that share activities and they resonate well with families. These are your mom bloggers, which are big on TikTok, Instagram, and also niche platforms like Pinterest and Substack. And these influencers are effective for promoting your kid-friendly items. And then the last category are your entertainment and lifestyle influencers. These are similar to your local influencers, but these creators really specialize in glamorous and aspirational content, and they can really elevate your facility's image. And so an example would be an influencer posting about their movie night out or stadium experience. And then a tip that I have for influencer marketing is try to prioritize influencers with highly engaged audiences rather than focusing on their follower count. Micro influencers can often deliver better results and are sometimes more affordable. And how to pay your influencers or include them in your budget. Once you find an influencer, you can ask for their rate card or media kit. Oftentimes they will have one. But if they're a smaller creator, their content can be a trade, so free concessions, free tickets, as well as some type of monetary compensation. And always make sure that the deliverables are clear with them, such as number of posts, the platform that they post on, and the copy that goes in the post as well. All right.
Thanks, Nikisha. So let's talk a little bit about data-driven marketing and understanding what works and what doesn't, and how you can focus on your most profitable items and also improve underperforming ones. So data-driven decisions eliminate speculation and maximizes your marketing ROI. So how do you analyze sales data? Track sales performance for each concession item and promotion using point-of-sale systems or analytics tools. Identify trends such as top selling items during a specific movie genre or seasonal shifts in customer preferences, and use this data to adjust your marketing campaigns, introduce new offerings, or phase out some of your less popular items. So pairing analytics with customer feedback to uncover insights that sales data alone might miss, such as why certain promotions resonate more than others. I want to kind of go a little bit deeper into, if you are tracking something and you are able to identify that it's doing well, or maybe there's potential for an item that is, on the fence. One thing that you can do is, increase your marketing outreach, increase your social around it. And one thing Leah mentioned earlier is, make sure that branding is cohesive across the board. So what they might be seeing on social media, they should also be seeing in their emails, that same piece of creative from that content shoot. And, there's studies that prove that, it takes us a few times to see stuff in order to remember it. So once you've hit them on social, you've hit them on email, and then at the concession stand, if they're seeing that same piece of creative, that's gonna, oh, I remember I wanted to get that, special flavor that's out. Leah, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, with data-driven marketing, we were discussing about, in terms of being able to see through your point of sales based on the promotions that you've done in advance, but you can also take a look and see what's happening on the day of. So if you were to promote a certain item and seeing, at a certain time of day, we're able to look at your POS and see what is resonating with consumers. So it can help you better make decisions in the future around that. So
Yeah, or if you see something's doing well that you weren't expecting, right? And it's on a Friday, get some social media posts out there later that evening, Saturday, Sunday, to just kind of ride that wave and hopefully increase the impressions and engagement for that particular item. So personalized marketing fosters customer loyalty and increases the likelihood of repeat business. Tailored offers make customers feel valued and encourage higher spending. So how do you leverage personalized offers? Use customer relationship management tool, CRM, to analyze customer purchase history and preferences. These screenshots you're seeing are from MailChimp. So looking at your email open rates, your click-through rates, you can even drill down to, your actual user or subscriber and what are they clicking on. They may be clicking on certain concession things, certain concession items versus another mom blogger like Nikisha said, who may always click on, the family friendly titles. So really taking the time to pay attention to where people are clicking. A lot of these CRM tools will have like click maps and things so you can see high level at a glance where people are clicking the most. And similar to that heat map, right? You kind of see heat map on the concessions board, you kind of see where in the email people are clicking around. And if you see that people are always drawn to one particular area, put your best deal or offer in that area. Also, kind of there's a term in marketing, above the fold, and it comes from newspapers, right? You put the top stories above the fold of the newspaper, but the same goes for email, right? You want things to be at the top of your email, the most important, and also make sure you're considering what that email may look like on mobile. So make sure you're taking a look at stuff on the different devices so you know what your customers are seeing and how they're experiencing your communications. Send targeted promotions via email and SMS. We kind of talked about that. And what to promote? Promote your senior days, promote your calendar events. If you're having that adoption day that's tied to a film, make sure that's in there. Make sure you're linking to your website in your emails. And that way it pushes people to your website and they can play around in different areas, right? So we're not just doing the static images. We want to make sure that everything is clickable. New releases, trailers, concerts, new food and beverage offerings. These are all things you should be including in your emails. And then a pro tip, use limited time offers to create urgency and drive sales. So you want to be FOMO inducing, fear of missing out. Next slide. Loyalty programs and digital engagement. So loyalty programs create a great source of value for guests. Programs can entice casual guests to return more frequently. And in order to increase your loyalty subscribers, use loyalty tiers, right? You've got your VIP customers, you've got your once in a while customers that are maybe on your free loyalty plans. So have those different tiers. Punch cards are a great way. We've worked with cinemas that have used punch cards for like their Met offerings. Come to all the Met events and get your 6th or 7th ticket free or a free discount on concessions once you've hit a number of punches. and of course, exclusive offers. So host a loyalty member appreciation event with exclusive merch, screenings, activations, and games at your venue, and promote it ahead of time so you can entice people to join your club. I think this is our last slide. Yeah. And we'll roll into questions. Dan, Chris, we'll let you guys take over.
Okay, well, I do have a question. So, all the rage right now is the specialty popcorn containers. They're everywhere. Is it a trend? Is it a fad? How long can we expect that to stick around? Are they here to stay?
Deanna, our concessions director, I'd love for you to answer this.
Yeah, it's actually a really great question. I do think that they're here to stay. And as I'm, listening to theater managers and their ask for concession items, it is apparent that, all theaters, stadiums included, and arenas, they're asking for these specialized tubs and drink cups. And the main reason is because obviously it dries up your point of sale. So you're able to sell them at a higher cost, and you're able to, get some more money into your pockets, which is fantastic. But I do think that the more technology changes and the more these are produced, I feel that the cost to create these eventually will go down with our vendors. And so they're going to only create the next fad. So what could create like our 130 tins, that might be the everyday 130-ounce tub here pretty soon. And then something new is going to come in, and that's going to take over what was the 130-ounce tin tub. So I do feel that it's here to stay, and the vendors are only going to be finding something different.
Mm. And do you need them for every movie?
No.
I was just gonna say, no, I think they're becoming customary for our big films, our big titles, right? Or maybe it's big concerts, Taylor Swift, right? Like maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, bejeweled microphone. I don't know what it might be for Taylor Swift, right? But I think when it's something big and we all know it's gonna be big, I think it's just becoming the standard.
Yeah. Do you
It
think
really
that
is.
specific genre that is going to be more popular? I mean, is it a kids film? Is it a superhero? What are people really clamoring for?
Yeah, when it comes to the concession items, what sells better is your action adventure, your sci-fi, your sorry, kids movies. Kids combos do really well. And your drama and your puppy love movies don't do as well on the premium items. That being said, there have been a few that have done well. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but depending on who's the director, who's the writer, who's starring in it, all of these things have a factor. And another thing that I do want to point out to theaters is just because it's a big title movie and you feel that you have to get this item, you don't necessarily need to get it. You really need to kind of think about your demographic and whether or not you're going to be able to sell the item. And another thing to think about is the timing. Is when are you going to get it? Are you getting it on opening weekend, or are you getting it 4 weeks prior? So you're marketing the movie, because you don't want to have the opportunity to not get the product in time, and then you've missed your window to sell the majority of your product, and then you're left over with product that you can't get rid of. So, because we do see that some theaters hold their product until opening weekend, and then we see other theaters that are selling the product literally the 4 weeks prior. And so it really kind of depends on the demographic and your foot
It goes
traffic.
back to, knowing your customer and checking out that data, right? That you have at your fingertips, whether it's through your CRM or your POS systems. It's really taking the time to learn and study who your customers are.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been doing at Showcase is, the high-end items that are, very expensive and exclusive. We're holding those until opening weekend. But then, your IML cup, your IML tub, something like that, we're launching a little bit earlier to build awareness of the film and not worried about running out. I mean, our biggest fear, when we went into Wicked was, are we going to run out? Are we going to run out by opening day? And what is that right amount that you need to purchase? Because it's expensive and it's a lot of money up front for some of these high-end items, and you don't want to be stuck with any, because that's just going to hurt your bottom line right off the bat. So with Wicked, it was supposed to open on this date, and then next thing you know, they had a Fandango only event on Monday, and then there was a show on Tuesday, and then there was a show on Wednesday, and then the movie, doesn't even really open until Friday. So, we were like, when do we put these things on sale? And we were worried about being completely out by the time Friday came around and all your real fans came out, and you were sold out. So it is a tricky
Something I've seen for one of our customers with one of the films was they ordered a limited amount of popcorn buckets, and then they had the option to pre-order that exclusive bucket on their website. You wouldn't get it for 3 months, but you still had the opportunity to make money and have that kind of same limited feel of that popcorn bucket.
Right.
Absolutely
Right.
agree. I was gonna say exactly that, Leah. I think the premium, there's always a worry on whether you're going to order enough, but I think the fear of missing out, the sense of urgency, the like collector, I'm one of the 50 people that got it from my cinema, or that sort of feeling really resonates, especially I would say with like people of my age, millennials and Gen Z.
I, we are
Well,
definitely seeing that in our end, is that people are afraid of missing out and they want to get there earlier, and we're hoping that these high-end items are not only driving top line revenue for the concession stand, but also driving people to our cinemas because they can think they can get those items. But it also is, on the backside, if you don't have those items and they show up, then they're kind of disappointed in us and they leave with a sour taste in their mouth. So it's tricky.
Definitely.
And we had a question from Ken Whiting. Do movie theaters offer a refill program for popcorn? And I know we do at Showcase Cinemas.
Yeah.
For our large tub, we offer refills, and then on the novelty items, we do offer a refill on those as well. And with drinks, we're all freestyle anyway, so you're going to get refills on your drinks, whether you're getting it in a witch's hat or a regular cup.
There's also refillable tub
I was gonna say that.
programs. Perhaps Deanna wants to speak on that as well.
Yeah, we actually have, we're seeing a lot more theaters wanting to do the 170-ounce refillable tub program. And what's nice about that is the quantities can be lowered if you're collaborating with other theaters and running at the same time. So, but then again, the vendor has a low quantity as your minimum anyway, which is another thing that we've been discussing with all of our vendors, is letting them know that a lot of the theaters aren't needing 50,000 and 100,000 as their, minimum orders. We're telling them, they're needing, 10 and 20,000, and then, and moving up into that. So one of the things that we've worked out with a lot of our vendors is to, run different programs and different items with other theaters at the same time and getting to that minimum. And then that way we can allow everybody to have the different opportunities that other theaters, such as the bigger guys, are able to get. So, and then there's also the refillable cup program. It's not as big as the refillable popcorn, but it is done in certain locations, just again, depending on the demographic.
Great. We have a question, Kim Cook. She says single same-day refills are ongoing. I think what Deanna was talking about with the refill program, it's a container you purchase in advance, and then you pay a certain amount each time you get a refill on that. With Showcase, we do same-day refills in the tubs. but only same day, and same day in the novelty items. So hopefully people aren't walking in off the street with their witch's hat or something like that.
But the
Um,
refillable tub at like on a more private label level is great, because then you can have that all year long, and then you can switch up the design for the next year and require your customers to purchase a new tub to get those refills throughout, the next year. So it becomes an exciting program for people to get their collector tubs.
And you can
yeah,
usually
question.
pay for the cost quickly, because you're selling that initial tub, depending again where your demographic or where you are, but you sell the tub for anywhere between 15 and 25, and then they come in for $3 or $5 dollar refills.
Right. So, and you're hoping that they lose the tub and never come back, and
Or they forget it.
or they
Yeah.
forget it. Yeah. Honestly, you just want them to come
Darn.
back. Really, I think it really is about a loyalty program when you talk about that refillable tub program, because
Yep.
you're building engagement and telling people to come back to your theater because they're going to get something special. We got a question from Michelle Daughtry. She says, "How are you operating the refill program? Where we're at, our health department does not allow that unless we collect their tub, give them a new one, resanitize the tub, and then resealing it." One of the things that we do in certain areas, we'll either issue them a popcorn bag, which is like our logo bag, if our health department doesn't allow that. But during COVID, and I hate to say during COVID, but during COVID, we actually purchased just cellophane clear bags, food bags, that were the same size as the tub, and we would fill that up and hand it to the guest, and the guest could either dump it in their tub themselves or stick it right in the tub, and they were good.
I've heard of some markets even saying, "Guess you have to clean it." Of course, check your local, FDA or whatever regulations, food regulations. But I've heard some theaters, the smaller ones, that say, "Yeah, we just make our customers bring it in clean." So some seem to be getting away with that.
And we have a question for Deal from Eric. Is there an extra cost with movie promos on Deal menu boards?
Yes, there is. So we don't create generic promos that get distributed all over our network. We basically create custom content for each customer that integrates with the design of their boards. So if it's a tub that we have to shoot and then bring into a full animation, it is a project that we do on a time and materials basis. Usually, sometimes it's on we have a standard fee for a certain type of file that we create every whatever it is, monthly, or for every major release, something like that. But yeah, there are charges associated with creating the promotions.
And I would
Yeah.
say too, with that, we anytime that we're shooting, we also have the ability to take what we're doing and create assets beyond just your menu board. So that is something that, as working here with Ani also, and seeing all of the different places that you can have your brand represented, or your merchandise, or your food items, because the reality is we are constantly bombarded with information all the time. I get so many emails from different places all of the time. So you might think, oh, maybe it doesn't work. But every third email, I'm clicking. Every time that I see the same brand over and over, I'm creating a story and a loyalty that comes with that. So when we do shoot something, it may feel like, oh, I'm paying for this one promo. You're also paying for the ability to market that in other areas.
Now,
Repurpose content.
right.
Always,
I was gonna
yes.
say, with Ani, that's when you're getting studio funding or something like that. A lot of times you are creating the content that people can use,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Yeah.
drinks and things of that nature. So
For
that's
sure. That Nosferatu program that we showed is currently happening. We developed a cocktail and then, designed a set for the content shoot. then created the motion content as well as the static graphics that are digital menu boards, social media graphics, email web banners, and then the print table tent. So it is a full suite of items. And yeah, oftentimes they are subsidized and sometimes they're not, but I think investing in your private label, your own, menus and your own events and things like that is worthwhile.
Kim Cook commented on the drinks and the refills, and she says drinks are typically lighter regulations, though she's not sure why, because they're both food products. So I would agree with that. With freestyle, though, you're not really putting your drink up on a, it pours right in. Even though you maybe used the lid, it's still sanitized or sanitary. I have another question. So what do you think the next big trends are in our industry? I mean, where are we going? What is everyone going to clamor for next year?
I think our team really believes it's going to be more of the experiential, and I don't know if Gianni wants to give more thoughts to that, or but we do see experiential, like the Barbie box, the Beetlejuice, even was it MGM had the theaters do a
decorating contest for Red One.
Yeah.
I think Kim mentioned it earlier, and I see Leah shaking her head, so I'm sure she has some stuff too, as well as Nikisha, but people want to post on social. They want to show their friends what they're doing, or as Kim said, what their friends aren't doing and what, the cool thing you're doing. So just creating those magical, memorable moments. And it really is worth, again, the balloon arch investment or the step and repeat wall backdrop, because that's just giving you impressions. So whether it's $250, $500, over time, the social reach you're going to get on that pays for itself.
Yeah.
I met a company out of New Zealand a couple of weeks ago who's doing some pretty incredible things with imagery and AI. And they took one photo of me and put me in 3 different movie trailers: a horror movie, a space movie, and a Western. And it wasn't just the shot of my face. They actually adjusted my face for horror. I was scared, I was happy, I was mad. And in the horror film, they had taken like a haunted house type frame, and they had made me my ancestor in the frame, like a 90-year-old version of me. I know that's not too far away, it's not too hard to believe, but in the frame with my eyes following me as I walk down the hallway. It was absolutely incredible what they've done. It's not clear that they've been able to productize that quite yet. It's technology, but it's not. I wouldn't call it yet something that is ready for prime time. But I think that may be the type of thing that we see coming in the not too distant future as well. Being able to insert yourself or your customers into a scene, maybe not on the big screen, maybe in the lobby, and then give them the ability to download that for their social media. So it was very cool stuff.
Yeah, I think absolutely AI in the future, being something that's interactive inside of a cinema or a stadium, if it's a soccer event and being able to see yourself playing with the other players is definitely something on the horizon. But I totally agree with experiential as sort of the next for cinema, especially, whether it is a physical balloon item that you can use and reuse, or if it is digital signage, where it becomes, full experience spaces that you can place yourself inside of, potentially interact with. I do think that that's going to be the future because, everyone can watch a film in their homes, but not everybody can have the experience of going somewhere and really feeling this film, bit by bit, crumb by crumb, as you walk into the theater.
Yeah. And piggybacking on that, AR actually can do things like that currently, and has you may have seen it in some theaters, and AR is going to be just something that it's been around, but it hasn't like really taken off. I think that's going to be something that's going to be even bigger, because the technology and the cost of that is starting to kind of come down a little bit more. You know, we also had a vendor who has this very nice, it's really cool. They basically scan your body, and then like for Wicked, they could have made us into like Glenda or Elphaba, and
Body
but the
tracking.
cost was a little high. So you wouldn't see it yet, but they, you know, they have different things like that. And but I think, you know, AI, AR, they're
Yeah,
both
it's
gonna,
here. We say the
yeah.
future, but it's already here. The technology here is here. It's just becoming a matter of it becoming more mainstream and commonplace.
And affordable.
Yep.
I want to say that we're already seeing AR even with the specialty vessels, with the Gladiator, Coliseum buckets.
Yep.
So definitely AR use, and also even just QR codes that can, you know, unlock different pieces of digital content. We're going to start seeing an increase in that as well.
Okay. Ken Whiting has a comment. I think it's more of a comment on trends. Creating signature menu items, fresh made pretzels, churros, liquid nitrogen ice cream, all concepts and menu items that are rarely found, are driven on impulse and can be, you know, menu expanded.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think even with that, like different toppings, you know, it's like at your base menu, and then being able to bring in either specialty items or seasonal, or you know, the option to do a chili dog or a cheese dog is something that can increase prices without having to create a whole new menu item.
The churros, the pink and green drizzle that you showed in your images earlier, it's can be so simple to plus up your menu.
Even just, you know, pink and green popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. All
This
right.
is great.
Well, it looks like we're actually coming up right exactly on time. And
Yay.
3 minutes, we'll give 3 minutes back.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
So I want to thank everyone, because this was a great presentation, and everyone was really brought their A game, and I think it was very informative, and hopefully everyone in the audience learned a little something today.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
Everybody.
Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Yes,
Thank
happy
you.
holidays.
Any other
Bye-bye.
announcements, Chris? Or?
Yeah, just I did want to say happy holidays, happy New Year. Thanks to all the great members who joined us today, and non-members as well. And if you're not a member of NAC, we sure would love to have you. And then also Dan, Leah, Bill, Gianni, Kim, Nikisha, and Deanna, thank you so much for lending your time and expertise to today's discussion. Great way to cap the year, and really looking forward to 2025. And thanks again to everybody.
All right.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Take care.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.